So, what is one main reason why Rings of Power may have struggled with younger viewers? Well, I think the number one reason is probably like the writing. I think that they were trying to look in this particular article that I looked at, they were looking for things outside of the writing to really not hone in on it. But I think the main thing that was a block for Gen Z was the writing. This is an article from Business Insider, and I quote, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it. So, Amazon Lord of the Rings of Power, may have struggled to attract young viewers. So 71% of its audience was 35 years or older at the season 1 midway point, according to Nielsen. I think really one of the main ways that they could have gotten to the younger people is that some of the things that really were missing would have been put into place. So what were some things that were missing? So off the top of my head, things that were missing were Celeborn was missing. So we had like 4 different plot lines if we just go back to the first episode, but where were we going? It really wasn't clear. So if you just tuned into the first episode and you had no knowledge of Tolkien whatsoever and no knowledge of the series, even then, it really wasn't clear where the series was going. I say, like, if the writing was masterful, then that would make it crossover, and that would make it crossover and hit all age groups. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit more from the article. So Amazon Lord of the Rings of Power might have a problem with young audiences. Expectations were high for the series, which concluded its first season on Friday, given its hefty reporting price tag of $465 million to make season 1. And while the limited viewership numbers we've seen have been decent, the series could have still struggled to connect with an important demographic. Continuing on to read more of this article, 71% of the show's audience is 35 years or older in the U.S., according to Nielsen's latest streaming data from Thursday, which measured the show's 4th episode. By comparison, 68% of the audience for HBO's own fantasy series, House of the Dragon, is in the 18 to 49 year age range. One of the main contingents, like reading through the article that they talk about, is they talk about that maybe the problem was like social media. They say that the House of the Dragon, for example, had a more powerful presence on social media. That's interesting. They then go on to, and I'm going to quote it because I find it interesting. They go on to, Julia Alexander, director of strategy at Parrot Analytics, tweeted recently that the Rings of Power is a hit, except it feels like it's not. Why does it feel like it's not? Is it because it's not close to the quote-unquote lore? Is it because there were some gaps in the writing? Is it because the timeline doesn't make sense? Is it because of their characterizations of certain character? Why doesn't it make sense? Why isn't it a hit? What is lacking? What is it?
Pure ignorance, sheer stupidity, and wild recklessness.
So this is from an article from Business Insider that Amazon Rings of Power is struggling with young viewers.